Welcome to erpbugs. So, in our previous session, we saw how to load the chart of account file. This is in continuation to the same session. In this session, we are going to load the other file that we have generated and which contains the information related to the ledger, legal entity, business unit. So we'll see what is the process. The process is same, but the validation or verification process is little different because it is going beyond the financial, structure information. So we will upload the ledger, legal entity, business unit through the file called financial common entities detail. Then we will verify after the file get loaded. We'll verify the information in the application. Then we will discuss some of the limitation of rapid implementation. Then we'll discuss what topic we have next. Okay, so to upload the ledger, legal entity and business unit, what is the process? The process is same. We'll have to go to the global search and find out the upload process, the task that is related to upload of ledger, legal entity and business unit. We'll select that file and we will submit it. So just like when we uploaded the chart of account file, there are certain scheduled process submitted by the system. Here also it will submit some of the scheduled processes and their child request, and it will link up the chart of account. If you look at the last scheduled process, child scheduled process, that links the chart of account with the ledger, legal entity and business unit. So let us log into the system, log into Fusion application and go to global search and search it with upload ledger. So when you do the search, for people who are coming with experience on e-business suite, we used to have percentage to search all the results. So this is being, I mean, this facility, no more you need the percentage. If you have appropriate spelling and the initial details, then you can find them. So click on this. Now here we'll select the other file that we have generated, the other CSV file we have generated during the preparation of file. Click on this, financial common entities. This is the file we generated. Select this. So now this data file is selected. Now optionally you can put a note over here saying PNC common financial configurations. Okay, now you can select notify me as well. Okay, click on submit. So this number is important to remember, 8021025. So this is not yet refreshed, so click on the refresh button. So it will show the recent scheduled process submitted by the system for loading the ledger, legal entity and business unit. You have to refresh it. So this process is going to take almost all for 30 to 45 minutes, because it will link up all the structures that we have defined, all the structures that we have identified and defined in our rapid template and generated a CSV file. It will link up all the information, and this link up can be modified to some extent, not the all. By the time this process get completed, let's see what are the demerits that we have, or limitations that we have in rapid implementation. So the first limitation is that we cannot add the sheets manually to the rapid implementation, because it's a system generated file or predefined template by Oracle. We are not allowed to add any sheet, but we can add the sheet with a segment defined in the chart of account. Through the options that is available in the template, we can add the sheet, but we cannot add a sheet directly or manually. The next limitation is we cannot apply this rapid configuration through for inventory organization, particularly for supply chain management. We cannot create separate names for chart of account and calendar. System automatically creates that name based on the name that we have provided for the chart of account. Now, if you want to have different names, then you have to choose the individual task or the standard method. So we can change those names, but the codes that are created by the system will not get changed. So if you have a requirement where we need multiple chart of account, what is the business requirement to have multiple chart of account? Like we discussed during our session for 4C, the structure, the financial structure or the chart of account structure, we discussed that the 4C is important from ledger point of view. So if there is any change in the sense, if the transaction currency for two different legal entity or two business units are different, suppose say for example the PNC, the example company that we have taken is having operation in UK, having operation in United States or some other countries where the functional currency is different than what we have in the Indian currency, then the ledger should be different, because the ledger will create the balances based on the currency. So there is a way out. Suppose if you have international customers and you are receiving money from the international customers, or you are paying to your international suppliers in dollars or in pound or in AED or whatever currency, you have to translate them. Even though you are not doing business being in that country, but being in your country you are doing business with the foreign currency transaction, then you don't need a ledger separately, but you can translate the currency, whatever the transaction that you have done. Suppose say you have purchased machinery worth $10,000, your business is in India, or you have business in UK, but you have brought in machinery from United States. So the functional currency for UK is pound, and the currency that you are dealing with the machinery is in dollar. So you have to convert those dollar values into the pound values for your balancing, for your accounting, because it's a foreign currency and you should have the amount in your domestic currency or functional currency. We call that as a functional currency. So there is no domestic currency. In infusion, it is called functional currency. So, but if there is a business activity done outside the country, outside the geography, if you are registered as a company over there in United Kingdom or in United States or in Australia or New Zealand or Saudi Arabia or whatever, so there is a legal binding that you have to submit your balance sheet, because otherwise they will not give you the identity. The identity, the legal entity, is nothing but an identity that you are doing the legal business in their country, in that country. So that is the importance of a legal entity. We do not do any transaction on the legal entity. The transactions are done in the ledger, but ultimately the report is being prepared for the legal entity to submit with the legal authority, or the federal authority, or whatever, the applicable authority for the country. And based on that, based on your performance, you have to submit your balance sheet, your profit and loss account, and based on your profit and loss account, you have to pay the tax to that country. So that is the reason we have the importance of a legal entity in the structure. So we understand that, okay, this is the legal entity and my ledger should be different. I should I should do transaction in that ledger, so that end of the year, end of the month, I am able to, or the business entity is able to identify what is the profit and what percentage of tax to be submitted to that particular country's legal authority. Or in India you have companies, register of companies, where you have to submit your balance sheet every year. Similarly, you have the authorities in different countries, so you have to submit with them. So that is the concept of multiple chart of account. If you have, if you consolidate, again, why we need multiple chart of account? If we have multiple legal entities, suppose say in within India, the same group of business is doing multiple businesses, but at the same time they have to report it back to the legal authority or the tax authority or the companies, register of companies, for the performance of the business that you are doing under the name of the legal entity. However, if you want to show the performance of the entire group, suppose take the example of Tata or whatever, I mean the big business, what they do legal submission, legal balance sheet submission or profit and loss. They publish their profit and loss balance sheet in the newspaper for each of the business unit. But at the end of the day, if you ask what is the net worth of so and so group, the consolidated, whatever business they do, they consolidate that and they showcase, okay, this is the $1 million business that we are doing, and these are the businesses we do. Why we need that? We need it for the investors point of view, for the shareholders point of view, for the management point of view, so that they can take decision for the expansion, business and expansion. They can take decision that, okay, we want to start the new business in this area, that area. So based on the retained earning, based on the income, based on the profit, they will diversify the business based on the total performance of the group. Okay, so multiple chart of account. Okay, again, you need, if there is a difference in the, suppose instead of three segments, somebody want to, different country want to have five segments, then your chart of account is also different. Then your ledger will also get different. If your calendar is different, yes, calendar is different, then yes, you have to go for a different ledger. So there are other ways to do the consolidation, revaluation and all. That's when we do merger or acquisition. So we keep that openness to add those business unit which came through the merger and acquisition, or we have sold out some company. Then separate that business. We will see how those things are handled in fusion. So there are two methods, standard and accrual, which is possible through your accounting. Other than these two, if there is any other method of accounting, standard and accrual, if there is any different method of accounting, then it's not possible to do that implementation through a rapid implementation process. The next limitation is that if information in all the file, all the sheets are not accurate, then the entire file, entire process will fail. That is one of the limitation. The other, the last one that we have already discussed, that it one segment cannot be assigned with two. There are restriction on balancing segment, and the second one is natural account segment. You cannot have two natural account segment qualified for two different segment, and the same thing for the balancing segment. Apart from these, there are many other segment qualifiers, or we call that as labels. You can have multiple labels associated with the segment, but if you want to do that, that is not possible through the rapid implementation, because one column, one row we have seen. So if you want to do that, you can do it, but post uploading of the rapid implementation, you can do that manually. So these are all the some of the limitations that we have in rapid implementation. Normally, the rapid implementation is used for demonstration purpose, but when you go for a real-time project, there the preference is always to go with the manual implementation, or manual task with standard implementation. So the process of defining each of these objects that we have considered in the rapid implementation, we will discuss individually during our sessions uh, for specific to those business objects. Let us see whether this process got completed. As I mentioned, so it will complete the child first, and then it will complete the parent. So when the child is in process, the parent will be in paused. So understanding these statuses is also important, because if this is the status, I mean based on the status, you should not submit the same process again, because it will be a conflict. It will get into the queue. So this process is one of the lengthiest process, because it will create all those business unit. They will associate the legal entity. It will associate the chart of account or the ledger to that legal entity. Then it will associate the calendar. A lot of things it does. So it takes a lot of time. So this will take 30 to 40 minutes to complete. Once this loading process completed, or the status change to succeeded, then you can verify. You can verify the log output. Log output is nothing but it talks about what this process completed. I mean, what activity it has done, what details has been processed. Now if you click on this, so how to check that? Just click on this, and here you have the log output. You can check the log output. The log output will tell you what exactly being done by the application. So all the activities, this is little technical, but it will give you the information. Legal entities imported successfully. So if there is any error, then you should be able to identify where it is erroring out. So subledger application option created. So all the activities, so it creates the linking with the different application that we can use. Subledger we can use, it will balancing segment value imported successfully. So the status of each activity being performed by this process will be mentioned. Now this will be useful when there is an error, so that you can verify the error and go back and do the corrections that are required. So it's a very big report, and identifying, normally in the real time implementation they will rectify those errors only. If you are able to rectify the errors, then you will have very good knowledge on how the structures are designed in Fusion. Okay, now what is the next? The next activity is to verify whatever we have completed so far. So this file, when we submit this CSV file, this completes these many activities. Now what it does, it creates the accounting calendar. Where do I verify this? So let us go to the application and go to the functional setup manager and go to financial reporting structure and click on the accounting calendar. Now search with the accounting calendar. So this is the accounting calendar we have loaded just now. So it creates the name same as the ledger. You can modify, but the internal name will remain same. So we have defined 22 is the first year of operation. Now automatically it has segregated 12 periods with an adjustment period. If you want, you can modify the details, you can add the years. Okay, it will not impact the chart of account. You do not need to submit or recompile or deploy the flex field structure or deploy the flex field, because this is outside flex field. This is part of financial structure, but this is not part of chart of account structure. Okay, similarly you can go to other objects and verify. Manage currencies are already there, we have to only enable it. So USD, I mean, by default Oracle provide all the currencies, so we have to verify that whether that is enabled or not. Then if we have foreign currency transactions, we should have the currency conversion rate types and all the details. We'll see individually. Then we'll see, navigate to the primary ledger and see whether primary ledger is created by the rapid implementation or not. So go to primary ledger. How do you navigate to primary ledger? Click on done. Go to general ledger. General ledger, you have primary ledgers. Now here you just check what is the name. This is PNC US. This is the primary ledger that got created. Okay, now we will not be able to see what information being captured unless until we specify them. So this is an activity that we have to do. We have to specify in the sense we will associate that particular ledger being the work area for us. So click on this scope. So scope is nothing but we are associating this user who will be handling this ledger. Now select and add. This is something related, just like for people coming with e-business suite experience, this is nothing but your profile option. So apply this. Then you select your chart of account or primary ledger, that is nothing but PNC US. This one. Keep the mouse here. click over here, then save and close. It will show you the ledger option. Ledger option is nothing but how you are going to perform your accounting. So what is the first period? What is the accounting method? So by default it has associated standard. See, there are other accounting methods as well, but this is a limitation of the rapid implementation process. So it will allow only standard accrual and accrual. Then these are some of the accounts that we need to provide for functioning of our ledger. Save this, save and close. Then verify whether now the ledger is in my scope. So this user, whatever financial activity does is being done by this user will be specific to this particular ledger. Okay. Then what is next? Verify the legal address. We have done primary ledger. Let us verify the legal address. What legal address we have provided? We have provided in our file, we have provided some legal addresses for this, for the legal entities of this particular company. Now go to the legal structure, verify legal, manage legal addresses. Now just mention few lines of the address. See, the address is also created by the system, and you can modify this address, verify this address, all the details you can check. Okay. Now what is the next? Next you have to verify the legal entity, whether the legal entity is created or not. How do you verify? You will have to go to again the legal structure, just save and close. Go to the legal structure, be there in the offering in the legal structure, and go to the legal structure task. Click on this. So far we have not done this, so we have to select the scope, which legal structure I want to see. Now select and add one legal structure that we have loaded. So you can search it, expand it, then see. Okay, so we have something called power. Okay, see the legal entities, all the legal entities that we have uploaded are available. Now select this. I will go with power tag. Okay, select this and click on OK. Save and close. It will show you the legal entity that is created. So if you look at the Excel sheet, so this is the legal entity and this is the view. So view we will see in the next session. So this is the legal entity already we have. So you can verify all the legal entities that you have considered for uploading through rapid implementation. Okay, now you can save it. You can change here what is the edit address. You can change here what is the purpose of your address. This is my legal address, so I want to say this is my legal address. Date effective we should have from the date when the establishment started. Then I can have add one more. This is my bill to, so this address will be used for bill to, this address will be used for ship to. So all those purpose of address, so we have to add the purpose of address, so that when we do the transaction this address will be picked. Suppose if you are sending a letter, now dunning letter, suppose you are sending, now your address, who is the sender, what is the address, that address will be picked from this value that you are assigning. Okay, because this is, all legal documents should have your legal address, otherwise it is not accepted or not honored. Okay, so save this. This become a legal employer. This is a statutory unit. So all the information. This is the identifier. You whatever you have provided in your Excel sheet will be available here in the application. So 7 close. So the legal employer has some relationship. We will see when we convert the implementation user or the normal user as a legal user or legal employee. We will see all those details in our next, subsequent classes or subsequent sessions. So far we have completed the verification of all those components that got uploaded through the second file during the rapid implementation. Now we have done some of the changes, or if any, during the process, if you have identified any changes that need to be submitted for synchronization, because there are a lot of linking that it creates between the financial information, legal information, and the organization information. So we have to review and submit the accounting process. Before we complete the process of review and submit, let us see the legal entity that we have uploaded through the rapid implementation, and we have associated certain number of balancing segment, particularly the specific to the business unit we have submitted. So this is how it displays, where the balancing segments are associated with the legal entity, and at the time of preparing the financial reports, it will consolidate the balancing segment, balances from each of the balancing segment, and use that information for preparing the financial statements, such as profit and loss account, balance sheet, and everything. All those that as per the requirement of the management, as well as the legal authority of the location where we are doing the business. So just 1 2 3 is part of techno, so it will take the balances of those 1 2 3 and prepare the report for legal entity. Now after this, the final activity that is that should be performed if there is any changes. So you have to go and review the accounting configuration and submit it for synchronization process. So this is mandatory if there is any change. In the below, if you see, there is a status button, and that should be green or ticked to ensure that this particular legal entity is or whatever configurations we have done for accounting is ready for use by the user or the business. Yeah. So this tick mark should be green. So that's how we have completed the loading of the information related to the business unit. But one thing that we will see in the next session is the business unit, how the business unit are created through the rapid implementation. We have not done anything, but yeah, the system have created everything for us. We will see that in our next session, and see what are the different identifiers available in business unit to perform our activities or functions. Okay, so that's all for this session. We will discuss later, and if you have any queries, you can reach out to us. Thank you.